We are live. I got my good brother John Float Locker on here. John, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you?
I can't complain, man. A lot of exciting things happening in the crypto DeFi world. I'm sure we're going to talk about it a lot here, man. Anything that you wanted to talk about up front? Anything on your mind? Any cool yields? Good yields anywhere?
Man, yeah, I'm working on a couple projects, still working on details on that. Haven't officially released anything yet, but yeah, but man, the space is the crypto space is very dead. Like it's in apathy.
Yeah, if you're still in
There's
crypto
nothing
right now,
going on.
you're a real boss. Let's be honest.
Yeah, man. Like if you're still in this space, like you're definitely dedicated. You definitely believe in it, right? Not just some hype thing for you. You know, trend, and it's not just a trend for you. I agree, man.
Yeah, this is the time to be going to conferences. I know a few people that went to permissionless and they were just saying like everybody was building because during the bull market, everyone's come in, they're focused on prices, but the people who go to conferences now are the people who are like building and actually interested, getting ready for the big show in the bull market whenever it comes. So
Exactly, man. Exactly. But yeah, as far as yields, I've been out of my major Ethereum USDC pool since 1740 ETH price. I got out in August. Was it
okay.
August? Yeah, it was August. I still have, I have small pools, but nothing major right now. I'm kind of waiting on a dip here to DCA in with some Uniswap pools and generate some yield. I just don't want to buy right now.
I hear it. Do you have your stink bid set up on Uniswap, like those almost like the limit order style, or are you just waiting with the cash on the sideline outside of the pools?
Yeah, just waiting outside or waiting with the cash on the side. It's more so I would set them up, I just haven't. I've been trading for years, so I'm looking more on a macro time frame on the chart. The weekly time frame doesn't look good for
If you want
now.
to share your screen and show any charts, man, feel free, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go to ETH here and I'll go to weekly. And I'm very simple on my technical analysis. I don't do any crazy like fibs and
Same here, just straight price action.
Price action where price had trouble, where price had support, right? So moving averages, MACD, that's all I look at. And then I look at the overall start at the I like to start at the monthly to see how things are going.
That's exactly what I do as well. Go out and then go in.
Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I mean, I like if someone didn't have any exposure to crypto and they were looking to get in, I would say, you could buy some here, and then wait for lower prices, Not sure if it'll get down there, but you never know. So it's better to pick some up enough to where you can weather a further dip. And then on the weekly,
how low do you think we can go? Any projections? Obviously no one knows for sure, but
yeah, absolutely. I've been looking at 22K and lower if I can get in there. But I mean, the overall structure of the market, especially on say if you're looking on a weekly time frame, it just feels like the worst of it is over. But it doesn't mean that we could retest these lows, right? I mean, I'm not saying we're coming down here, and who knows, but we've had a quite bullish year overall for Bitcoin. But right now, what really I pay attention to is just the momentum, especially on a macro time frame. And I'm looking at the momentum here on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. We just been basically in a sideways range, since was it March? And I just think the excitement since the beginning of the year has kind of weaned off, right? Anyone that got in, right? Probably suckered some people in up here on the top, right? So those people are probably not as committed, right? They were just looking to play the run or whatever. And then either through boredom they get out, or we're going to wait for some sort of capitulation here, right? Maybe some sort of double bottom. But yeah, ideally I would like to pick up some below 22K, but that's what I'm just watching for now. And then I watch price action, and then I wait for confirmation on when to start buying back in and get more aggressive. But yeah, overall momentum is at least, I would think, sideways. At worst, we get some further downside movement.
Yeah. Are those moving averages, that I'm guessing that's the 200-day and the 200-week you got on there?
200-day and 10 SMA.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you've noticed this too, but it's testing those both as resistance, which is also a bearish sign.
Yeah, and the thing is like, people look at this like, oh, maybe I should just short and try to capture some of this at 22K. And I'm just thinking, we could come up to 29, 30K and
Easily.
still be bearish, right?
Yeah.
And if you're shorting down here, starting a position to short, right? You're kind of 50-50, right? Yeah, you might get some reward here, but what if it squeezes you out prior to the drop, right? So timing it from that aspect, trying to trade it, I'm a big stickler of my time, right? And how much time I put into something. And say like in the bull market, I was at the computer, I was trading, I was active trading like multiple hours a day, all day, right? So, but like in this market, I mean, look at the move today, 0.42%, right, on Bitcoin, right, on a volatile asset. It doesn't benefit me to sit here all day trying to scalp this, right? You got this range here that's super tight, and
That's
trying
like
to
grabbing
guess.
a bunch of chicken and you just eating the gristle and the little meat off the bones. It's not really
Exactly, yeah,
anything.
you're not getting any meat off the bone, and with trading, that's the whole idea. You wanna just get your chunk of the pie, the chunk of the meat, right? You're not expecting to get the whole move, right? Because it's nearly impossible to buy the absolute pico or, to sell the absolute pico top and buy the absolute bottom, right? Like, it's very difficult. So, the meat's on a 0.41% daily move, how much are you actually earning, right? And how much are you paying in commissions? How much time are you spending, right? So, I see this, I'm just like, there's nothing here, right? And I'm better off just trying to build some other things, work on myself, work on spending time with family, right? Or just using that time elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
And as I get older, I'm a big supporter of just using your time like in a way that benefits you, right? And if you're sitting here trying to scalp this, I know a lot of people do. They sit here and they're scalping this price action, but it's very possible you could come to a point where you just get tired of it and you get so burnt out from scalping little price moves and making little pennies here and there, to the point where like when the actual move happens, you don't have a fresh mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole idea. Like every day I watch the markets, right? I check the markets, I see what they're doing, and then I go about my day, right? But I'm just waiting. Either, we break and hold 30K, or we get a nice capitulating move. And that's where I'm thinking, even if you're trying to short this market, I don't think the downside is really worth the time and the stress sitting in a short position, especially if we could hit 30K and still be bearish, right? That's a
Exactly.
lot of heat you got to take before you finally get your move, right? So you're just basically 50-50 right here. It's just gambling, flipping a coin. If you short it up here, that's even better, right? Like you had a good average, right? And
That's where I shorted. I actually closed mine in the green. I don't know if I told you that, but yeah,
oh, you
I
closed
closed
it
out
out?
my short. Yep, I
Oh,
closed
I
it
thought you were
out at like,
going. I thought you were looking for lower.
no, well, I was, but I'm like the Fed. Things change with the data. I always try to. I like to keep strong opinions weakly held. Put it that way. And and looking through the chart and things just going sideways, and then we have the halving, the election, and a potential Bitcoin ETF. I just didn't think it was worth the risk to be in it anymore. So I just closed out at like 24.9, I believe.
Oh, nice. Oh, you
Yeah,
got a nice yeah, you got a nice fill. Did you catch the bottom? Did you buy the bottom?
pretty
Did you
much.
cover the bottom?
I was using the Aperture Finance,
Oh
man.
yeah, 24.9. That's the bottom.
Yep.
Dude, nice one. So you were looking for that kind of break below 25K, didn't hold, you just took it off.
I just took it out, man. And then
Yeah.
also I got a bigger position on Radix. They're launching their Babylon update tomorrow. I've been talking about that for a while. So yeah, the
Oh yes.
only liquidity pool I'm in, other than like some stink bids I got for ETH, like around 1,200 on Aperture, is that Radix ETH position I've been in for a while, and I'm not exiting that pool until it goes out of range on the upside, and I'm taking profits in Ethereum.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm exposed, man. You ought to once Radix launches their Babylon tomorrow, you should look on Caviar Swap. I just made a video, dude. The yields were like 231,000% just because it's such a small pool, but people are trading, and it's a one-way bridge, so not a lot of people can get over there.
Yeah.
Bro, I was making like 10-20% a day for a few days.
No shit, man. Yeah, man. That's I see these opportunities. But I also see all these freaking hacks and rugs and all that, and just the bad side of DeFi.
Yeah, Radix is a little different, man. Their programming language is different. It's way more secure.
I'll check it out, man. You said you put out a video on it?
Yeah, I put out a video on it. It's in the XRD yield farming strategy, and then I just did one on their tokenomics where I went over the yields again. So they stopped the liquidity providing until they migrate over to Babylon. So I took everything out, but I'm pretty sure as soon as they launch again, everything's gonna be live. And Stargate or Layer Zero already announced that they're gonna build a bridge for Radix. So it's like right now you have to use the Insta bridge. It's only a one-way bridge, or you can use like Bitfinex, or you can go on CoinGecko and see the sexes that you can get an account with. But that keeps a lot of people off. So once they do build the two-way bridge and everyone comes on, like, man, I'm holding Aussie Swap, I'm holding the Caviar Flute token, because those are the top dexes on Radix. And bro, the market cap is like $2-3 million.
Jeez.
For the number one dex on a blockchain, like even if you look at Trader Joe right now, it's still an $80 million market cap. I think it can at least get to $30-50 million. That's an easy 10-20x. So
Radix, what's the symbol again? XRD?
XRD, yeah.
I thought am I thinking about something else? I thought one of them went to like 50 cents. Was it Radix, or was it you had another one that went earlier this year? This one only showing like the highest it's been was 14 cents.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's an EXRD, but it's still the same price.
Yeah.
It's like wrapped Radix on Ethereum.
Yeah, I saw that. I could have sworn I saw. Okay, I think you were talking about something else. And then you were telling me you took profits, and then it went down to 30 cents. You don't remember? It was like a big move, but maybe I'm thinking of a different.
Was it Radiant?
Radiance. Radiant, right?
I got like a small position in Radiant. I squeezed all the juice out of that one. I think it'll definitely, go back up here pretty soon as they launch on other chains and stuff. But yeah, I got like 5K in Radiant still, like super small percentage of my portfolio.
Okay. Yeah.
But I like Radix. I like Radix ecosystem tokens because they're super small, and I like Pendle Finance right now.
Oh yeah,
and Cash. Yeah, I think Pendle in the next bull market, that's 100 to 500x. Like I think it's gonna crack the top. It could be in the top 10, top 20 with what they're doing in bond stripping.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on XRD. Price action looks pretty kind of trending up here.
Yeah.
It's at 6 cents.
Yep.
I'll add that, might add some, pick some up. I've actually been speaking of which, I've been looking at altcoins,
What are you looking at, man? I just noticed another thing. Base flip Solana and TVL. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
that
pretty
was
impressive.
Fast, man.
Well, I mean, it's impressive, but it's I think you would expect it, right?
Yeah, not surprising at the same time, but
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You would think it, especially being with Coinbase, right? So, but as far as alts I've been looking at, I've been accumulating SNX, synthetics, and then
anything special happening with them while you're accumulating, or are you just bullish on them as a whole?
I just bullish on them, and I like the price action, and it's getting buzz, right? That's what I look for. And then looking at accumulate, I'm just been accumulating and just looking to hold until the next bull run, right? Some other tokens I've been accumulating. I've been watching some old, just some of the classics like Litecoin. I think is around $60 right now. That one I want to accumulate. And then Bitcoin and ETH. And then I picked up some Uniswap tokens just below $6. And other than that, I've been watching Matic. I want to get back into Matic again, but I just feel like
I've been keeping my eye on Matic as well.
Yeah, I'm not
The
in
layer
it.
twos in it as a whole, OP, ARB, and Matic. I like all those three.
Exactly. I held on to all my Arbitrum tokens. I'm
Same.
I don't
For the
want to.
airdrop?
I didn't want it at $1 or what is it? Was it $1? No, almost $2 when
Yeah,
it
I
hit.
got mine sitting on Radiant, just earning me a little yield. Nothing crazy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been I took a percentage of it, and then I'm farming it on some Uniswap, but the yields kind of suck because I kept it very wide. I don't want to sell off too early.
Yeah, that's smart.
But yeah, man, like I think right now, like back in December, I was just watching the market, and when we saw this move here, I knew to get bullish, right? Like I was delta hedging my liquidity pools at the time, after from October through December, I was delta hedging. I was trying to stay neutral through all this. But once we saw this, I took off the hedge and I just let it run, right? But I run my Enzyme vault, and my Ethereum USDC positions perform very well. But I got into Matic around $1.20, and I took a big hit on that. So it wiped out a lot of my profits, right, from the Ethereum pools. I think I got out I think it was like low 70s or high 60s, right? And then so that wiped out about 20% of my portfolio. Even though I kept it small, right? I kept position sizing small with altcoins because you never know. But I think it was like
That
5%.
IL adds up.
Yeah, it was like 5% of my portfolio, but that hit, man, it was like, I was like, oh, I'll just keep it in the portfolio. Matic is solid, whatever. But just with the overall market, the macro, the Fed, right, interest rates, inflation, right, and you're just like, okay, right now, I shouldn't be in high beta risk assets, especially
Yeah.
not even at 5%, right, of the portfolio. So I dumped it, and then right now I'm about break even in my vault. So it took all my gains, right, which sucks. But
You'll make them back, man.
yeah, I know that's the game, man. Eventually you just gotta be patient. But yeah, the majority of the vault is in stables right now. Not doing anything with it, just waiting, being patient. And
No stable coin pools you're in, just sitting. You got the stable sitting.
yeah, just like stable coin pools. I think they're not paying that much enough for
Yeah,
me to.
stable coin. It's not a lot of liquidity in the market. Yeah, it's hard to get a yield on stables nowadays.
Yeah, like maybe in early 2022, I was seeing double digits on stable pools, but today you'll be lucky to get 4 to 5%, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's with a super tight liquidity pool on Uniswap. But although speaking of stable pools, did you hear that Quasar, they launched vaults, concentrated liquidity pools?
Do you want to pull up the website? No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah.
What chain are they on?
They're on the Cosmos blockchain.
Okay. Is it a V3 fork?
Not exactly, but it's very similar.
Okay.
They what claim to be different from Uniswap is they're more granular with the tick spacing to give you more flexibility on
Kind of like Trader Joe liquidity book.
They don't do like bins like them. It's more like Uniswap, but I think the big difference is they claim to be more granular. So say there's more liquidity between tick spaces.
Okay.
And in addition to that, I think they're kind of undercutting Uniswap with to bring in demand from traders, right? By charging a lower fee. Like say on Uniswap on a liquidity pool, like say, whatever it is, right? They charge the fee tier is 0.3%. But on what is it, Osmosis, which is the major DEX for Cosmos, right? They're charging 0.2%, right? So so traders pay a lower fee to transact on there, right? But they launched the concentrated liquidity just recently, like a couple months ago, right? On Osmosis. But let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
So that's Quasar. And then, so here we go. This is Osmosis, major DEX on Cosmos, right? And what they have here is the supercharged pools. So if we just uncheck those, you can see the pools here.
Is supercharged? Is that like a more narrow range?
Yeah, the supercharged is the concentrated liquidity of
Okay.
Cosmos, right? Those are the ones where you can, like, say you could come in here, you know, you see the range, you could create a position. When you create it, you know, you could they have preset ranges here for you to set up, or you could do a custom, right? And you could go super tight, right, on your range, just like Uniswap, right? And then you earn fees.
The clean UI.
Well, is nice, but it needs some work, I think. Like, you can't get, it's very like kind of clunky at times when you're trying to get very granular with your adjustments, or like if you enter a number here, you know, sometimes it gets all wonky. Like it'll
Uniswap
get rid
still
of the
does
decimal
that
point,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you delete, like, say, oh, it looks like they fixed it. Let's see. Yeah, looks like they are working on it, right?
Nice.
But it's gotten better. So they launched this, and then Quasar had launched vaults, right, where they run concentrated liquidity strategies in their vault, right? So for this one is a USDC USDT vault that's yielding about 47%, right? Which is pretty good. And what some of that is from is the swap fees, obviously, but also there's incentives from like Kava, Osmosis, and I believe Quasar is doing incentives on here as well. But the TVL, like if I go back to Osmosis, if we go back to the pool, when it launched, the Quasar vaults launched last week, or has it been a couple weeks now? Almost a couple weeks now. And the TVL in these pools were very low. So they've been trending up, as you can see. Like, say we'll go here. I actually have this open already. And if you look at the liquidity, has been trending up.
Hockey stick.
Now the idea here, the plan here, what I read, what Osmosis is trying to do, they're trying to shift their liquidity towards concentrated liquidity, right? They want to have more liquidity with what they have currently in the space, right? They want to be more efficient with it, right? But they don't want to like shock the market and have everyone move over immediately, right? So, for instance, if we go to the pools, this is the largest pool on Osmosis, and this is not a concentrated liquidity pool. This Atom Osmo pool number 1, right? But you can see liquidity trending down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, liquidity is leaving there, and it's actually been speeding up recently, right? Ever since they launched, I think they launched concentrated liquidity back. It's been a few months. I can't remember exactly, right? But you see liquidity draining out of this pool. Well, if we go back to the pools, there is also a concentrated liquidity Atom Osmo pool, right? And then you can see the liquidity, the TVL. Sometimes a little clunky. You gotta refresh. There you go. You can see it trending up, right? So hopefully, like, that liquidity that's leaving the major pool is coming here, right? Which, you know, this has been trending up, and the only issue here is that there's not a lot of volume, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of volume on Cosmos right now, but I think they're just kind of getting they're getting their pieces positioned to be ready, right? Like, they've been building, they got some cool things coming. They even have, like, I read a Medium article where they're trying to become like a, you know, just saying in my own words here, like kind of like a all-in-one asset management like space, right? Like really like taking, like, you know, if you take Enzyme Finance, for instance, right, on they're on Ethereum and on Polygon. You can, as that's where I have my vault, right, where I can create a vault, a non-custodial vault. People can deposit their crypto into that vault, and then I could run my strategy in that vault without ever taking ownership of those of that their crypto, right? Like they could withdraw at any time. I cannot take their crypto and put it into my wallet, right? It all stays in that vault. So what they're trying to do is going back to Cosmos or to Osmosis here. They want to create a space where they have like kind of like an all-in-one DeFi, borrowing, lending, non-custodial asset management, right? And it was actually on their site. If you just go to Osmosis, if you go to their site, you can find it. It's like one of the recent articles over the past several months. But they don't do a lot of articles, so you could just kind of go to their page and check it out. But it's a really good read. You know, before they launched concentrated liquidity, I was not even thinking about the Cosmos blockchain, right? I mean, I've just traded Atom, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that no matter how well the blockchain does, other than just like a narrative, it has no benefit to the actual token.
Yeah.
Hopefully they fix that.
And, speaking of which, their token Atom, the majority of the liquidity is on a centralized exchange.
Yeah.
Right? Like say we go to CoinGecko, right? We go to Atom. You can see like the majority of the liquidity is not even on DeFi, right? You got it all on centralized exchanges. And if you sort by volume, the majority of the volume is on Binance, 6 million a day in volume, right?
Yeah.
But you come down to Osmosis, a tenth, that less than a tenth of that, right?
Crumbs.
So I'm interested to see what their plans are to bring that activity, bring that volume, bring that liquidity off a central exchange and into their space. But up to a couple weeks ago, I started really looking into them, seeing what they're doing. I was like, okay, the concentrated liquidity caught my attention, but then I started looking into what they're doing. I'm trying to figure out, okay, are they going to try to bring liquidity over, right? What are the plans, right? Not too much out there on that, but if you kind of dig, you could kind of get hints of what they're doing, right? And you see that they're building, you see that they're doing something, right? And that's what is drawing my interest over to that, right? So just interesting. And it's good to see that they're building, and it's good to see that liquidity is still around, right? And liquidity is looking for alpha, especially in this market, right? If there is something out there to invest in, you have to compete with the risk-free rate, right? You can get like almost 5% nowadays, right? With no risk with treasury bonds, right? So it's very difficult in crypto to beat that.
True. Especially on stables. Because we were talking about this on our spaces yesterday. That 5% is like, if you compare it to crypto, it's like single site staking in USDC.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder.
So I think like platforms, and not only Cosmos, but just everybody that's building in the space, they got to find ways to create, they have to create incentives, right? For that liquidity to come over. And I think it's more to get people's eyes on their product and say, hey, look, we're paying you some some incentives, come check it out, give it a try. If they have a good experience, that's good for the long run, right? Eventually when the bull market comes back. But I could just imagine how difficult it is to just keep the doors open, right? The lights on, keep working, right? And building, right? But there's definitely stuff going on and definitely some building. But yeah, kind of like what I've been looking at, kind of like where my attention has been focusing. But other than like that, as far as trading, transacting, farming liquidity pools, not much at all right now. Not much for the past at least month and a half.
Fair. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to sit on your hands and wait, and that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, well, cool, man. I know you had to run here early, so we can call it. I super appreciate the time and the value and everything you went through. I feel like people will get a lot out of this. So before we head out, definitely subscribe to knowitowlz, subscribe to Crypto Noah, and subscribe to John's YouTube channel. John, is your @name is Float Locker, correct, on YouTube?
Yeah, float_locker. You can find me there. Also on YouTube.
Twitter.
Same username. It's actually the Financial Trader's Mindset. That's where I just talk about, the psychology of trading investing, how to think, what mindset you got to have. It's not more, sometimes I post like charts and videos on the market, but it's mainly about the psychology of trading.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Most
Especially
important part.
nowadays, man. It's very, very difficult. It's a very difficult market, man. And after this latest Fed meeting, I'm just kind of like, it looks like we got more of this to go, man. And then oil going up. I was like, it just doesn't look good in the short term.
Yeah, oil's going up. We're entering into the winter time, so energy's going to start going up. And I think a recession's right around the corner. So we'll see.
Man, it's going to be brutal, man. But we'll get through it.
Then it'll be all good. We'll
Yeah.
get through it. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate the time. And man, I can't wait to the next one.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right,
man.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
See ya.